battles that had the least dying were always led by Jedi. I'm gonna go with what you think. Where do you want the second squad? Alright, where do you want the third squad, the new recruits? Fine by me. The last question is, where do you want to go? Either the front or the back. I'll take whichever one you don't. That way both sides have leadership. The back? I suppose that there is more ground to cover with the two entrances. Alright, I'll take the front. Once the fighting starts, you gotta stay in your area. We both have to guard our half of the battlefield. Come over to me and the mercs will just charge straight into Kunda. Thanks to you, they're gonna have a tougher job. That's about it. Now we just need to dig in and wait for the mercs to come. Well, I'll tell them what's there to do. I'm not much for work. Alright, I'll assemble the men. I hope you can speak good. I don't have the words. That was really something. I think any one of them would take a blaster bolt for you now. Let's get ready for the mercenaries. If we fall here, all of Dantooine falls with us.
Tell me what you see, soldier.
They're mobilizing the militia. Looks like a lot of activity down there.
They've been warned. It won't be of any use. The plan doesn't change. Captains, prepare your men. Their leader, Administrator Tarina, must not survive the battle. Everything else is secondary to that objective.
Yes. My life is yours.
We've lost too many soldiers. Fall back inside.
So you're the Jedi. I take it you are a stand aside. Our quarrel is with a distinguished administrator. You have no idea who you're talking to. I was going to spare your worth. I was trained at Malak's Academy. Your tricks won't work on me. You're just another dead Jedi to me.
I didn't sign on for this cold-blooded slaughter, Azkul.
I was wondering when you would betray me, Dopak. I'll send your final wages to your children, along with a detonator.
Sorry I was held up, but it looks like I've arrived in time to pull you out of your predicament.
Kill them all.
Thank you so much for your aid. You can be sure that Dantooine will not forget us. We are a humble community, and this conflict has greatly diminished our resources. I hope this reward... I am humbled by your generosity. I will put this to good use. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have much work to do. Dantooine will be slow to rebuild, but I am confident now that we will...
Kunda is safe in no small part due to you. I feel certain that the In any case, I am free to talk about whatever... There are a few of us left, but I do not even know if the others... We've been forced to divide our forces and retreat to places which will be difficult for... We have chosen to hide our presences from each other. We cannot. And we have resolved not to until we have found where... But even as our numbers thin, there is still no... We had hoped to outmaneuver them, by letting them believe themselves victorious. Then, all of us who remained vowed to meet here on Dantooine. But so far they remain in hiding, and Jedi continue... Nar Shaddaa? Why would he go there? It is good that you bring word of him, but you must not speak of it to others. It will only put him and any other Jedi... We cannot. And we have resolved not to. But even as we had hoped... Not... It is good that you bring word of... You have more questions? We are at war, but it is unlike any war we have fought before. Somehow our enemy is targeting us through the Force. The gathering of any Jedi seems to attract them like a beacon. Great tragedies, in such places the deaths of so many echo. By coming here, those echoes serve to mask my... The Miraluka world of Qatar taught us a terrible lesson. Many Jedi gathered there in an... Now the planet is no more. Master Zar, Master Dorak, and many more I was not on Qatar when it was destroyed, but now that... It was after Qatar that the few of us left realized that wherever we... Great tragedies, old battleground. In such places the deaths of so many echo. Yeah. We were not in hiding. This threat is striking through the Force. I do not know. There are techniques, but I do not believe that such technique... Jedi sanctuaries, places of learning, conclaves. That requires that our enemy knew of our whereabouts. There was much Jedi teaching buried here. In the hands of our enemies, such knowledge could be used to track and kill Jedi. And so much has been plundered from here that now many... So I did what I could, attempting to let myself be captured. I hope... The Sith attacked this place once, and only they would seek the death of... With the destruction of Dantooine, it is difficult to sense the presence of... You have more... Because you defied the Council and followed Revan to... Do you know how many worlds were destroyed in those wars? Dantooine, Telos, Sirocco? Do you see now why we Council... You are the only one to come back and face judgment. But that was because you had lost your connection to the... No doubt you still blame us for your exile. You have more questions? We did nothing to you. Accuse us if you will, but it will not change the truth. Cutting one off from the Force. Such punishments are reserved for only a few. Although it was within our power, we did not inflict such a loss upon you. Your loss was a casualty of war, no more.
No podemos cuadrar nada. La gente anda limpia.
Perhaps that is a question you should ask yourself. It is not something I could help you with, even if I wanted to. Perhaps it is Dantooine, but I do not feel such from you. Still, you and your connections were often a subject of debate in the Council. It is possible that returning to known space, journeying with others, has caused the Force to stir within you again. Do you have more questions for me? You have seen the end of your trial. Perhaps you would like to explain how you came to this knowledge. That was intended only for the Jedi Council. If what remains of the Council chooses to tell you, then I will abide by their decision and its There is little I can tell you. Master Kavar felt something had happened to you. And Kavar was too close to you in any event. He, too, felt the call of war and took to battle more than a Jedi should. But enough of this. It is knowledge for... You have more questions? Force bonds? Yes. It is the bond... Such bonds normally grant strength to both, but not to such a degree. Still, your ability to form such connections, to influence others, was... Perhaps it is a punishment of a sort. But a bond that ties two lives together, and with your loss of connection to the Force, it seems such... Perhaps it is Dantooine, but I do not feel such from you. Still, you and your... connection. It is possible that returning to known space, journeying with others, has caused the... You have more questions for... Have they? I've seen no evidence of them upon... Why would they attack you? You are no Jedi. Perhaps it is Dantooine, but I do not feel such from you. I feel still you and your connections were... It is possible that returning to known space journey... For some reason, I believe you. Still, I am curious as to how they would... Regardless, these Sith have struck, and you survived. This is more now. If you can find others, or find some trace of the Sith threat, and from there we may decide. You have more questions? I suppose there's something I should show you. And we'll keep... I'm only going to demonstrate this once. This is the Sheen form, a defensive stance that's good when you're outnumbered, which is most of the time. This form will increase your ability to deflect blaster fire, and it increases the odds of dealing critical... I don't know how you learned that so quickly. Still... So you did. That was...
Perfecto.
Thanks for your help. I'll tell you what I tell all those grubby salvages. No body, no claim. I'm no longer even looking at Will. Let me see the will. I'll be glad to get rid of this claim and get those salvage. He left all his possessions to one of the other dead salvages. Will I ever get rid of that damn Jedi garbage? Guess nobody gets them now. The administrator will have to figure out what happens to them. Thanks for your help with them.
You are always welcome here, Jedi.
Good job, pilot. Perhaps here there is some trace of those who pursue us. I sense that we may be truly alone on the surface.
There are signs of life on the surface. Beasts by the dozen. So don't worry, you won't be quite as lonesome as she makes out. You might want to keep your, lightsaber sharp. Or do whatever you do in these situations.
Although I think that the pilot's mechanical devices are probably accurate. If there are Sith here, then...
It seems quiet. Just the wind. But deep beneath the surface, this place merely tolerates sentience walking upon it. It is pleased to have been left alone. There is great power in this place.
There is much that would draw a Jedi to this place. The resting grounds of the ancient and more recently departed Sith. The most likely place to find our lost Jedi is the ruins of the old academy. It was said that Revan intended to return to Korriban to subdue any potential Sith insurgents, but Revan disappeared. It took a year or two for the Republic to send a force here to deal with any Sith that may have remained. They found Korriban much as we have, barren and lifeless. It was assumed that the remnants of the Sith turned on each other. The Republic found evidence that several Sith lords escaped Korriban, fleeing to As lifeless as it seems, the dark side is very strong here. The Sith Lords would not ignore such a powerful place. There is much. You should go to the ruins of the old academy, if there are any traces here of Sith. If you walk Korriban's surface, you shall walk it without me. I cannot, This place is strong with the dark side. It is difficult to center myself here. Korriban holds few secrets from me, but much that you should learn. Perhaps not, but I would caution you to guard your feelings carefully here. Korriban attacks the spirit and the body. I will remain here and meditate. Our link remains. I shall contact you. The Academy is on the other side of this valley. Dark energy fills these ruins, and even the structures you see around you are the plundered tombs. Each tomb was once infused with the history and heritage of the old Sith Empire. However, even the many traps could not long hold back the curious, the fools, and the weak. And so these tombs fell. Yes?
Nada mal.
My life is yours.
I'm here.
broken corpses before you are all that remain of the Sith on Korriban. I doubt there is much to be gained from looting these bodies. It would be best to leave them be. Fool! You've disturbed the spirits of this place, and Hissis are semi-intelligent beasts, corrupted and strengthened by prolonged as creatures of the Force. They have a limited ability to mask their presence. Hissis are drawn to suffering and carnage. They must have fed on all the corpses left. The angry phantoms of the Sith, too weak to influence the sentient, have taken these Hissis as thralls to their... lies the tomb of Naga Sadow, successor to Marka Ragnos and the Sith Lord. More recently, this tomb was where Revan confronted Uthar Vin, the leader of... When Revan left Korriban, the Sith Academy was thrown into turmoil with their leader, and so the Sith here turned on each other. This was the tomb of Tulak Hord, known as... His skill was considered remarkable even in his time, when many true lightsaber... If you were to face an ancient Sith Lord in combat, you would learn that we are as children playing... That is unknown, but supposedly he created a holocron to teach his technique. Unfortunately, Tulak Hord's tomb was among the first penetrated by the grave robbers of the New... This way leads to the tomb of Ajunta Paul, a fierce Sith. Ajunta's dark spectre lived on through the centuries until Revan calmed the angry ghost of Ajunta Paul, and one who has fallen so far and done so much evil does not deserve. Perhaps, but redemption is a form of spiritual. Unknown. Some have suggested that the blade led to Revan's demise, as it did Ajunta Paul. That is only speculation, however. Before you is the tomb of the great Sith Lord, Marka Ragnos, a Ragnos held power for over a century, using his cunning to turn his enemy. We're standing close to the spot where Naga Sadao first confronted Ludo. Their struggle nearly resulted in a civil war. Yes, it is the way of the Sith. They must continually test. As fate would have it, a pair of hyperspace explorers from Sinagar landed on Korriban. Naga Sadao. This fear resonated with many Sith who were discontent with the lack of expansion of the Sith Empire.
My life is yours.
Here, you can just barely see the Sith. The new Sith Order sought to progress quickly by finding objects of power. Now the excavation has been almost completely undone by 5 years of wind and sand. So does Korriban protect.
Unnecessary observation. You are eliminating many of us Jedi. Annoying recitation. Recitation?
Listen. The wind from the cave tells of great power within, recently awakened.
That cave, it almost has a presence about it.
There is great power and dark I would advise you to finish your explorations within the Academy before venturing into the cave.
This will teach you. This will teach you.
This door was left open on purpose.
It seems unlikely the Jedi Master we are looking for is within. I see no...
You can expect more than these beasts within the...
Oh shit, baby!
Her apprentice is here. Find him.
This will teach you.